We're about 1 month from the release of Gran Turismo 7. Whether you love GT or hate it, it's going to be huge. Millions of copies sold, I'm sure, and bringing in a lot of new players. And some of those new players might be looking for new gear and probably considering this, the Fanatec Gran Turismo DD Pro set. So I've had this for a few months. Fanatec sent me a bundle for review. So I'm going to sort of do a long-term review slash update of my experience with the Gran Turismo DD Pro and share my thoughts on why it's more than just a beginner wheel and can actually grow with you as you get into sim racing. So let's get into that now. Alright guys, so as mentioned, I'm going to be talking today about the Fanatec Gran Turismo DD Pro set, which you see here. This is the sort of base model of the set, and you can upgrade. There are different tiers of the Gran Turismo DD Pro set, but what Fanatec sent me for review was kind of the lowest tier, but I still think it is fantastic. So you can see my review by clicking the link in the description. I did a full review on the DD Pro set, but broadly speaking, what you get when you purchase this, not only this two-pedal set, but you also get the CSL DD wheelbase from Fanatec, which people love, and this wheel, which has a lot of functionality aimed at Gran Turismo Sport currently, but 7 in the very near future. You get a power supply for your wheelbase, you get a desk clamp for your wheelbase in case you don't run a rig, and all the other necessary cables to get you up and running. As I say, there's upgrades, so you can upgrade to the third pedal, which is the load cell pedal. You can upgrade the power supply on the wheelbase from the current 5 Newton meter torque level, peak torque level that this comes with in its basic form, up to 8 Newton meters with the boost kit. And so there's a few tiers of upgrades in there. So wanted to share my thoughts, wanted to give sort of a re-review, sort of a check-in. For those that have been watching my videos lately, you've probably noticed that I have the CSL DD mounted on my rig despite having another wheelbase. I have another wheelbase that costs roughly twice as much as the CSL DD and has roughly twice the amount of torque of the CSL DD, but I have chosen to stick with the CSL DD, and reasons for that I would get into in a separate video, I should say, but suffice it to say that the Fanatec CSL DD or Gran Turismo DD Pro set is meeting my needs. And I think that's important because this is being viewed sort of as a beginner's wheel and pedal set, but I think it's more than that. I think it's something that you can kind of grow with for a few years to come. So I have talked to people who have bought this as a beginner wheel and they're kind of researching, you know, is it enough? Am I going to end up buying another wheel in 6 months, a year, whatever? And I can't say that this is the case for everybody, but for me, this CSL DD is more than enough. I would recommend getting the boost kit if you could afford it, which again takes it from 5 Newton meters in the stock form to 8 Newton meters peak torque, gets you that little bit of extra power. For me, as somebody who's been sim racing for a number of years, that meets my needs. Is there more detail? Is there, you know, more realism available with higher torque motors? Yes. But is this real enough for me? Yes, absolutely. I do use force feedback. I know some sim racers turn it off. I keep force feedback turned on, and even though I've got a pretty good sense of what I like to feel out of a wheelbase in terms of force feedback strength and quality and definition, this meets the needs. I think it's really fantastic. So again, I've stuck this out, not stuck it out. I've chosen to stick with the CSL DD wheelbase instead of my other wheelbase, and been really happy with it so far. And even though this is aimed at the Gran Turismo crowd, certainly, the good news is it's PC compatible as well. So I kind of have the belief that not all, but a lot of sim racers, if you're serious about sim racing, eventually you might migrate. There's a high chance you're going to migrate from console to PC. At least dip your toes into the PC sim racing world. I mean, the Assetto Corsa mods, rFactor 2, Automobilista 2, there's a lot of PC only sims, and so you might end up there. So if you're just starting out, it's nice to have that future proofing with the PC compatibility of the DD Pro. And also in terms of future proofing, if you buy the basic set, which you're seeing here, 5 Newton meter wheelbase and 2 pedal pedal set. If you choose in the future, you can add a third pedal here, which is a load cell based brake pedal. It's going to give you a lot more realistic feeling braking. And the boost kit for the CSL DD, which takes you from 5 Newton meters to 8 Newton meters of peak torque, and that's going to give you a bit more definition in your force feedback. You can do that. You don't have to buy the full, fully upgraded set off the top, or right away rather. You can choose to add the boost kit to increase your power here, or add the third pedal here at a later date as funds become available, etc. My recommendation, if you can afford it, definitely get the boost kit. I like the 8 Newton meters of torque feeling better than the 5 Newton meters of torque for sure. And then get the brake pedal. That would be my suggestion. And you can change out these pedal faces as well, but that's just personal preference. So in terms of upgrade path, that's the way I would go. Get the basic set if that's what your budget allows for. And then if you choose, you can upgrade the power here. And then I would go for the brake pedal. But out of the box, it has everything you need, again, including the table clamp. So if you don't have a cockpit just yet, you can choose to just desk mount your wheelbase and just keep these pedals on the floor for now. And then even in the future, if you do get some sort of cockpit, this will hard mount to your cockpit, as will the pedals. So great set. Now I want to talk a little bit about this wheel. Far and away my least favorite part of the Gran Turismo DD Pro set initially was this wheel. To me it looks kind of cheesy, plasticky, too many, what are all these buttons? But then I started using this with Gran Turismo Sport. I've been playing a fair bit of Gran Turismo Sport lately, or at least over the holidays, and I realized all these buttons are very functional in GT Sport, because if you're changing let's see, ECU mappings, traction control, ABS settings, scrolling through your pit menu, etc., etc. All these buttons really come in handy, and they're even color coded, and that matches what you see on screen in GT Sport. So it's really slick. And so I sort of became a fan of the buttons. Is this my favorite wheel? No, no, definitely not. It still is a bit much for day-to-day sim racing, but if you're serious about Gran Turismo, if that's the direction you're going, that extra bit of functionality with all of these buttons I think could come in handy. So I will say that about the wheel. But again, Fanatec being Fanatec, in the future, if you decide that this is not the wheel for you, this is also something you can upgrade. And the level of upgrades available in Fanatec wheels goes from $100 on up to, what is it, about $1,400 for the official BMW GT4, excuse me, BMW M4 GT3 wheel. So sky's the limit really for what you want to upgrade on your wheel. But overall, that is the set. So again, just wanted to check in and let you guys know that a lot of people are viewing this as a starter set, and I think it's a very good starter set. Is it cheap? No. It's going to cost you significantly more than, say, a G923. I think it's price comparable to the Thrustmaster TGT2. But if you're considering this, just to give you a bit of peace of mind, know that this is more than just the starter set. I don't think most users will feel the need to immediately upgrade. I don't think you're missing much by going with this set, and I've been very happy with it. And as I say, even though I have more expensive options on the wheelbase, this is the wheelbase I've chosen to stick with. I happen to have a very expensive set of Fanatec pedals that, in my opinion, are better in just about every domain than these ones, than the included pedals. So that's what I'm going with. But the upgraded set with the load cell is a very solid set of pedals. So you're going to be safe there if you choose to upgrade to the load cell in the future. So yeah, that's basically it for the video, guys. Just a quick check-in with the DD Pro. I think people are going to be very happy with this. I think there's a lot on offer here, and if you can afford it as a starter set, it's a great place to start. And as you grow as a sim racer, it's going to grow with you. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.